On Tuesday night, radio personality Angela Yee caused conversation when she tweeted, "The Breakfast Club as you know it is officially over." As soon as the tweet was published, rumors of the show ending circulated online. However, on Wednesday morning, Yee would address her tweet by announcing that The Breakfast Club isn't going anywhere. But instead, she's leaving the long-running radio show in order to host her own nationally syndicated midday radio show, Way Up with Angela Yee, launching this fall. Today we have our Comedy Hype analyst, Yamanique Saunders, as well as Pierre calling in to give their thoughts and reactions. Now, Pierre, I want to take it back before we actually, heard the entire news to its entirety. But when you first saw the tweet from Angela Yee, what was your thoughts and reactions on it?
That my prayers have been answered. Thank you. So we can move up next, okay? So we can get past, so it can be Comedy Hype and then Breakfast Club underneath it. I was praying and I thought my prayer was answered. I was like, yes, sir, God is good. But then I found out later on, God is cool.
Yamanique, I want to come to you because I know you actually know Angela Yee, so I want to get your thoughts. When you first saw the tweet, what was your reaction to it?
I had literally just texted her to get a friend of mine on the show. So I was like, oops.
So bad timing.
Bad timing.
Well, we later found out, but before, of course, along with you all, a lot of people had a lot of things to say on social media, completely sounding off and going into a frenzy. I want to read some of those comments. You have one user who said, "I ain't seen a good interview since Soulja Boy anyways." Another user, "The energy between them has been off lately." Well, Charlamagne took to the show and addressed this, and here's what Charlamagne had to say.
Of course we knew this was happening. That tweet last night was absolutely planned. Okay, y'all know Angela Yee would never move unprofessional like that. Right, you would never do that. That was what we call planned communication because we know how much y'all love perceived bad news.
Goodness.
And trust, we have enjoyed watching.
Test.
Yes, now I want y'all to run and spread the news that Angela Yee is leaving the Breakfast Club, but she now has 2 nationally syndicated shows of her own.
That's right.
Okay, run tell that.
Charlamagne would follow up on his Instagram and make a post as well, and this was his caption. He says, "The planned communication that Angela Yee released via tweet last night sent y'all into a frenzy just like we knew it would. I know y'all couldn't wait to discuss some bad news, but that is not the case. Congrats to Angela Yee, who is getting her very own nationally syndicated radio show with Premier Networks. Way Up with Angela Yee, the midday show, will launch this fall in 30+ markets. Evolution is all about looking forward. We thank God for it all." Now, Pierre, I want to come to you because I know we kind of deal with that on this show, right? As we've gone along this journey, we've seen a lot of people gravitate to the bad news, but I want to get your thoughts. Do you agree with Charlamagne that, a lot of people want to hear bad news? That's the primary focus when it comes to media.
Well, one, I'm gonna give a shout out to Angela Yee for moving forward, having the nerve to even, just to believe in herself that much, because you're going from a successful show to something that you're not sure of. You got to believe in yourself, and I got to give her props for that. I don't watch the show that often. I'm out here trying to build my own, here with Comedy Hype in my own situation, my panic room. So I don't get to really watch the show. So I don't know how well the show's been doing, not doing, whatever. But the fact that I know it's been around for 12 years, had some great interviews. So even for her to just leave that whole scenario, I have to give her props for that, and I wish her success. Sure, when you leave, a lot of people, start saying all kind of stuff. Oh, you might make a mistake. You ain't, and looking for her to fall on her face, like, I don't know. She's stupid for leaving and all that. And if she's successful, then they all get quiet, like, well, you did the right thing. I knew you were gonna do the right thing. So yeah, sure, people like to hear negative, and it's rooted a lot of times inside of themselves. If they're not happy with themselves, then they want to see negativity. They want to be around. They don't want to be the only one in a negative situation. So when they hear stuff like that, they gravitate toward the negative, like, yeah, she messing up, oh, she leaving him. There must be some infighting. This sister just say, hey, I want to move on and just show people what I'm about, and I can live on my own. We'll see. Time will tell.
Yamanique, I'll bring that same question to you. What are your thoughts? Charlamagne said, hey, we set this up on purpose to, pretty much bring traffic because we know you all want bad news. Do you agree with him that, there seems to be a gravitation towards that?
I mean, listen, people can be clowns. And I think we get that sometimes in the comments as well. Like, why are we talking about stuff? Why are we trying to make it negative? It's not, I think what people have to understand is when things happen in the news, you discuss them. Now, whatever take you have on the situation, that can make it negative or it can make it positive. So talking about something is not necessarily making it negative. How you respond to something can make it negative or positive. I think sometimes people want to look for people to say negative things, say things that they're also thinking, so that they can kind of feel relieved that it's out there in the world and in the air. I think what we should focus on in this particular situation, Charlamagne has been really, really good to me. The Breakfast Club has been really, really good to me. Envy tolerates me. Angela Yee has been really, really good to me, and is a friend of mine. And what we need to look at is, like, for her to get to this place, there was some testing done. This isn't just like, why is Angela getting a show? What's she doing? Breaking the like the iHeartRadio, all these other people, they're in the business of making money. So she's been doing her own thing for a while. They've been looking at the numbers. There's a fan base for her. There's a place for her to go and not necessarily talk about the things that they deal with on the Breakfast Club, but talk about things that are more focused to what Angela Yee wants to talk about and her fan base. So I think both will continue to do very, very well. I think who we should be looking at is whoever's going to come in and replace Angela Yee, that they are successful, because the Breakfast Club is not going to fail. You got two dynamic people still there holding up the banner, and Angela Yee does her thing and is very dynamic. She's going to succeed.
Right. Absolutely. And I think there's been a lot of love as well, right? We've seen negativity when it first came, but now that people are kind of understanding the full scope of it, we've seen a lot of love for them. And I think, we want to give our love too. But before going there, and I'll start with you, Yamaneika, like it's been kind of mentioned, and Pierre mentioned it earlier, that's a tough decision to make. The Breakfast Club has been going on for almost 13 years. So I want to ask you, if tables were turning, you were in Angela Yee's situation, would you, what decision would you make? Would you have left or would you stay?
No, absolutely. I would have left. I think what we need to understand is, like, how amazing after 12 years of being on a platform that people still want to work with you. We don't understand. Some people don't understand the business end of it. So when I talk long, it's so that you can understand, like, the business. And the business end is that she's been in a business as a woman of color, you understand, for 12 years. And then people are saying, we want you to go 12 more years. We want you to go. That's so dynamic for a woman of a certain age, woman of color, woman, period. Because some women at that point, they'd be like, listen, girl, you got to go. We're going to replace you with somebody else. We're going to keep the guys. So absolutely. And why not soar? Any one of us would have soared, and somebody's offering you your own show, go. And you've already established it. It ain't like whatever the bitch was that left Destiny's Child 2 weeks in and then don't nobody know her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why are you scratching up, Pierre? You know how you dating her?
You call that sister a bitch. You can't call queen bitches.
I know. And they go like, calling her a bitch. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call her.
Nah, you said what you said.
Pierre, let me kick it over to you, Pierre. Let me kick it over to you, because I know you mentioned, it being a tough decision. And I guess this is kind of a little test for you. If you were in, Angela Yee's situation, what would be your decision? Would you leave or would you stay?
I ain't in her situation now. I'm about to leave Comedy Hype in about 2 more months. I'll keep putting that bullshit in them comments, okay? I'm about to leave, okay? If I hear one more comment about me, I'm out of here. No, at the end of the day, man, I respect anybody who believes in themselves enough to make that move, you know what I'm saying? And only she knows. Who are we to judge outside, man? We're not in that position. And I say try it. And guess what? I believe even if if it's not successful to where they want it, I can always see her sliding back into the Breakfast Club, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like you said, they've gone for so long, and obviously that shows the success of the show. So Pierre, as I mentioned earlier, I want to make sure that we give our flowers to them as well. I know whether you watch it or not, you do know that it's a long-standing show that has had amazing interviews come through that platform and just exposure to a lot of people. Even Yamaneika has been on that show. So Pierre, I'll come to you. Do you have a favorite moment on the Breakfast Club, whether it's an interview or anything that you saw, a clip? Do you have a favorite moment that you can share?
One, you got to put some respect on my name. Okay? That's classic right there. Respect on my name. And Soulja Boy's Tyrant, he getting going wild. And I think somebody wanted to beat up Charlamagne one time. Was it Jada Kiss or one of the rappers was like in his face? I was like, oh damn, it's about to be hot up in that studio. So I think it was I don't know if it was Jada Kiss. It was somebody he wanted to get up on what's the name. But throughout it all, man, they gave a lot of great moments, for radio, for just the culture, a good place for people to come to. And they're going to continue to do that. It ain't over with. It's just a person moved out the way. And someone else is probably going to come in and fill a spot. So it's a great place for the culture. Like Comedy Hype is a great place for the culture.
Come on now, I love the plug. Yamanika, I'll bring that same question to you. Do you have a favorite moment? I know you've actually been on the Breakfast Club, so do you have a favorite moment from the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, I've been on the Breakfast Club, I think 3 times. One of the things I want to say is like, when I was promoting my Netflix special and it, a lot of that was on me to promote it and get it out there. They were so open and welcoming, the entire company of them, the entire crew of them, to have somebody that people really didn't know. They didn't know how I was going to fill up that space, if I was going to have the energy, the vibe, and they were very welcoming. So I cannot thank them enough for the opportunities they give to people who a lot of people don't know. They open up the doors for people to be known. I got a lot of followers from that. So I will always be grateful for that. What I respected so much about Angela, because Charlamagne knew of me beforehand, but when I came on that, Angela had watched my special. She had done all the research on me. It just made me feel really seen and really welcomed. They allowed me to be vulnerable and talk about my boo experience on Showtime at the Apollo. And, we were able to talk about that. I think one of my greatest moments or funniest moments is when I was having a conversation with Envy about his real estate stuff. And then it was like, is he a slumlord? Is he what's he doing? He's doing seminars. And so I was just like, I didn't understand that. And my friends just loved that moment. But overall, just like, God bless them for being a platform. Just like Pierre said, God bless us. You guys brought me on Comedy Hype. There's so, as much as I say there's nasty MFs in the comments that I get on my nerve. Samulite. Why should we say Samulite? Because you're a Samulite. There's amazing people that have reached out to me, have followed me, have shown me so much love. So anytime you can get out somewhere and show your talent in a place where people may not be able to see you all the time, well, what a blessing.
Absolutely, and it's definitely a blessing to be able to share this platform with you all as well. So as always, thank y'all for calling and chiming in on this topic. Before we head out, I know we didn't. I know I was gonna say last week we didn't get to touch on it. I'm not wrapping up. I'm saying last week we didn't get to touch on it because I know last week was a heavy topic, but I need to know what y'all have coming up. So Pierre, since you want to try to cut me off, I want to throw it to you. What do you have coming up? How can people follow you?
I'll be at the Ribs and Soul Festival in Detroit. The Ribs and Soul Festival in Detroit this Saturday. Come on out. A lot of good comedians. Mike Bonner, Coco Brown, Mike, hosted by Howie Bell. So come on out and just get ready for this. New episode of on Pierre's Panic Room with Bruce. Bruce came out really great, man. And thank all the love for the one with George Wallace when he went on his rant, FU rant. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yamanika, I'll throw it to you. What do you have coming up and how can people follow you?
Well, I might have to cancel my shit for this weekend because I need to be at a Ribs and Soul joint. My big ass loves some ribs. My big ass loves some soul. But weekend I will be in New York City at the Comedy Cellar as always. Also, if you want to see me in Las Vegas from the 22nd to the 28th, I will be at the Rio in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Come out in the area, have some good times with me, have some fun. You can tell me I ain't shit in person, or you can tell me I'm the shit in person.
You the shit.
Everything. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. Again, I thank you both for calling in and chiming on this topic. Angela Yee, we do want to say on behalf of Comedy Hype News Show, congratulations, and we wish you all the success with Way Up with Angela Yee. So thank y'all for chiming in on this one. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Charlamagne the God responding to Angela Yee leaving the Breakfast Club? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Put it in those comments. Yamanika's reading them. Yamanika's reading them.
I am reading them.
What's up, Comedy Hype family? Like the t-shirt from this episode? Be sure to head over to comedyhype.com/shop to get yours today. 'Cause I'm fresh.